Hi, I'm Bruce from North Star Games. I'm here to teach you Evolution the Beginning. Evolution the Beginning is a game based on our Evolution game system, but it's the most streamlined and the most accessible of all of the games. At 2 players, it's quite strategic. At more players, it becomes a take that game about dinosaurs, so it's great to play with your family, your friends, or people you know that may not necessarily be so into gaming but love science. So let me teach you some principles in this game. Cards do everything, okay? A face-down card in front of you is a species, because in this game, it's about becoming the most successful species to evolve in an interconnecting ecosystem. So if you lay a card in front of you, that's a species. If you lay a card next to it, that would be 2 different species. A species can have population, so you can put a card on top of it. That is a species with 2 population. And that's important because the more population you have, the more food you can eat and the more points you get. Because you win the game by getting the most points, and that is eating the most food, because the science backs this. The species that could eat more food could continue to evolve. So that's what you're trying to do in this game. So another thing that you can do with a card is you can use it for its ability. We're going to explain abilities in just a moment, but if at any point you're confused while you're playing, there's a fantastic player aid in the box that explains what all of the different cards do. And it is a fantastic aid to help you understand what any single card is going to do in the game. Now I want to teach you how a turn works in Evolution the Beginning. These are very simple. A turn goes 1, 2, 3. The 1, you get a new species in front of you. So that is a face-down card. 2, you're going to take 2 food and put them in the middle. 3, you're going to draw 3 cards and use them to plan the rest of your turn. So remember, you could add extra population if you want. You could add a new species if you'd like, but remember you get a new one every turn, or you can use the abilities on the cards. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a long neck out. A long neck lets me take 3 food from the excess food pile before I even start doing anything else. And I'm going to add 2 population. So what that lets me do is this. I can now grab 3 food, put them on my cards, and if you take a look, the card's designed with a little place for food to go, so you can actually put your food on the cards. And at the end of the turn, you're going to eat. What that means is you're going to take the food off your cards, and you're going to put them in your decorative bag. And everybody gets a cute decorative bag that has the art from the game. So if we were to go into the next turn, once again, 1, 2, 3. 1 new species in front of me, 2 food go in the middle, 3 cards go in my hand. I now can do, once again, multiple things with the cards. I could create new species if I wanted to. I could add abilities to them, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Normally, when you eat, you would eat from the watering hole. The last turn I used a long neck. He has a long neck, so you can reach up and eat from the branches that are above everybody. You can also be a carnivore. When you are the carnivore, it means you're going to eat other species on the board. Every time the carnivore eats another species, it's going to remove one of their population and add 2 food to itself. So with this carnivore, I'm going to nom nom nom, chomp on the long neck. That card gets discarded. One of the population goes to the discard pile, and I'm going to get 2 food. I'm going to hold this card because there are no limits to the number of cards I hold. There are no limits to the number of population a species can have. There are no limits to the number of species I can have. There's one limit in the game. I can only have 3 traits on a single species, and no traits can be duplicated. So I can't be like a double carnivore or have 2 long necks, because we're trying to stick to animals we would normally see in our world. So then we're going to go to the next turns. The next person would, once again, they would go 1, 2, 3. They get 1 new card, 2 food go in the middle, 3 cards go in their hand. So now what we're going to do with this person is there's now a carnivore on the table, which means you can get eaten. What you want to do now is you want to use defensive cards. And if you go back to your cool little player aid, it explains defensive traits. There are 4 of them: speed, burrowing, flight, and nocturnal. If a carnivore wants to eat you, it must have the same trait. So if I can fly, a carnivore has to fly. If I'm nocturnal, a carnivore has to be nocturnal. If I'm fast, a carnivore has to be fast. So what I'm going to do with this turn with this player is I'm going to put out nocturnal so that I can't be hurt anymore, which is awesome because the carnivore could eat me, but can't because I only come out at night. There's also another fun card called fat tissue. I'm going to add fat tissue. What that does is it's a special card in the game that essentially adds another circle to your card. You don't have to feed it, but you can feed it extra food. I'm also going to add an additional population. So now I get to finally eat from the watering hole. Every other player hasn't done that yet. So what's going to happen is I'm going to grab 2 food, to feed my population, and then because of fat tissue, I get to grab 2 more food and add them to my card. At the end of the turn, I get to take those. An important thing to note, if at any point you cannot feed your population, you will lose them. So if there wasn't enough food to feed this, every single population that can't be fed is going to be discarded. One other important thing to note, if for any reason you either can't feed all of your population or carnivore completely takes you off the board, you are going to get a bonus of 1 card per trait that you had on your species. So for instance, if this carnivore ate this long neck, nom nom nom, no more long neck, all the cards are gone. There was 1 trait on there, that long neck trait. That player would get 1 card to replace the lost trait. You're gonna play the game until you've run through the entire deck. Then you're gonna make sure that everybody has an equal number of turns. So if I, sitting here, started the game, and the player to my left drew the last card, we'll shuffle the deck, and the other 2 players will get 1 more turn. Most points wins the game, and here's how you determine points. It is all the food in your bag, plus all of the cards on the table, plus all of the cards in your hand. Everything is worth 1 point. And then once again, the most points wins the game. There are a couple more traits to pay attention to, but once again, take a look at those on the player aid. They're gonna help explain those to you. They do some kind of weird things in the middle of the game, but they're incredibly easy to understand. And once again, they're right on that fantastic player aid. The thing you need to remember, 1, 2, 3. 1 new species, 2 food go in the middle, 3 cards in your hand, and then play from there. Once again, I'm Bruce from North Star Games. I thank you so much for watching this. If you want to learn about more of our games, check them out on the website at northstargames.com. If you'd like to know about new games as they come out, please go to the website, sign up for the mailing list. We would love to have you. Once again, thank you so much.